Let's talk about it. Klay Thompson is going to be a Dallas Maverick. He's signing a 3-year, $50 million through a sign-in trade. So the Warriors are going to receive 2 second-round picks in exchange for this move. It's unfortunate. We kind of thought it might be happening. We were like 50-50 on whether it would or not, hoping that he would have come back. But when they couldn't agree on the years, on the duration, that's when we kind of knew it was going to be probably the end.
He wanted 2, or he wanted 3. Warriors can only commit to 2, which makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, and it's sad to see him go. This was a key player for 13 years with this team, man. It's tough to see him go, and I mean, I think my favorite, I remember the 60-point game, the 37-point quarter. I was actually driving to the hospital because one of my friends got into a car wreck. But I had the game on the radio, and I'm just like going ape shit like while it's happening. So like it's just kind of this funny thing. Like I'm gonna go check on one of my friends for something sad, but also I'm like incredibly happy, like taking myself out of the sad moment. Like it's just kind of a fun dichotomy that I'm always gonna remember. And I mean, we can talk about the times in game 6 is when he showed up huge, and I'm gonna miss him. I'm
gonna take this moment to give a cheers to him. I am drinking rum for Captain Klay. He has a lot of personas: Toaster Klay, China Klay, you name it. He's had quite a few of them. He's actually the first player that I've ever bought a jersey with their name on it. As many of you guys know, I'm a scorned A's fan, so buying a player's name on it means I'm highly vested. And I bought 2 of them. I'm wearing one right now, which was the 75th anniversary one, and then the first one that I bought, which was the white jerseys here. So, I mean, he 13 seasons, but he played 11 years. So 11 years with the Warriors for number 11. I love it. Just going to remember all the memories that he gave us from game 6 Klay that you guys all talked about here. And then also, the memories of his magical game against the Kings. So a lot of good core memories that came from having Klay Thompson there. When you needed a bucket, when you needed a defensive stop, he just kind of always seemed to be at the right place at the right time. But no animosity on him going to Dallas. He got his bag. He got his 3 years. Doesn't have to worry about the whole tax situation that he would if he were to stay in California. So it all kind of evened out there for him. I know he took a little less than what he may have gotten over here, but always a Warrior, man, and always a 4-time champ. And I love it for him.
A statue. So
yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sad to see him go, but we always knew that at some point the big 3 was going to get broken up at some point. And how we here, it is what it is, whether Klay feels dissed or the Warriors feel dissed, or I felt like going into the off season, he had a bad, was it the 0 for 11, 0
for 10.
0 for 10 from 3. And then ownership saying they needed to get below those in these hard caps.
They needed to get below the repeater tax and the luxury tax, which they've done both. It's the first time since 2019 that they've been underneath it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess it's just you never know how it's going to end, and it's finally ending. I don't know if that's for good or bad or better or for worse or whatever. I just know where the Warriors were before the big 3 got here, before Curry. And and no matter how the rest of this shakes out, I'm extremely appreciative of what these players have done for the franchise and chips and the memories and all of that. There's definitely a business side to it. And, I think all of us have kind of taken a stance or a viewpoint that we're all pretty pro player on get your money, because It's time is limited. And I think even as friends, right, when we talk about work and we talk about our business endeavors, it's always get your money to help, to buy a house or have a better life for ourselves. So at the end of the day, I hope Klay is happy, has a good season coming up. But on the flip side, I hope the Warriors make some more moves to have a real competitive team. It's kind of they didn't get nothing for they couldn't do the Paul George deal, so the Clippers let him just go for nothing. And I know we're going to get into Chris Paul, but then the Warriors let him go for nothing. So kind of a whole lot of nothing burgers for the Warriors today.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that
the Jordan Poole trade that turns into a nothing burger. So
yeah, but I wouldn't consider that a nothing burger. Honestly, they tried to do a sign-in trade with Chris Paul, and nothing that could make sense for them to do it. And then with the Warriors now getting, I'll let Vince get into it, but with the Warriors getting what they got for Klay Thompson, I don't think that's nothing further eager. Go ahead.
The Warriors get 2 second round picks. I think one of them is 2031 and the other is 2025, and it'll be whichever is the worst pick between two picks that aren't even Dallas's. Like I think they had Philadelphia and Denver or somebody. I don't even remember. I just saw it real quick and forgot to type it in. But
I think the other one was the third team that's in the mix, which is Charlotte.
They got Charlotte in there anyway. So they a second round pick, that's a lottery, that's like getting a lottery ticket from the store. Most second round picks don't pan out, but every now and then you get lucky. Every now and then you run into a Draymond Green.
But the reason why I'm saying this is not a nothing burger is because the Warriors Joe has come out and said, if we're not fielding a competitive team, I'm not paying over the luxury tax for a non-competitive team. Joe did exactly what he said he was going to do, and he accomplished it. And now all the people are like, oh man, we didn't get anything for these picks. Know what you got? Now you can go spend money on a player, and you don't have to worry about being a vet minimum. You don't have to worry about being a mid-level exception player that's bounced around or on the tail end of his career anymore. You can go get a player now and pay for 4 years. You can get somebody now. That's what
not
Joe
this
did.
year.
Not this year, next year, but that's what Joe gave you. So it may be a nothing burger, but you gotta look at it long term. We ain't gonna be good anyways this year at all. So don't expect anything out of that at all.
Yeah, I think the new fans are about to experience a downturn for the first time. And so we'll see what happens there. Maybe tickets will get a little bit cheaper and we can actually get into the stadium.
Not happening, Vince.
I know we gotta get lucky and just
Joe said he was gonna get into the luxury tax. He didn't say he was gonna lower the prices for you.
No. I'm saying second market. I'm saying second market. I'm not saying Joe's not gonna lower the prices. I'm not saying that. I'm saying somebody's like, oh, I just need to offload these tickets. Give me $50 or whatever for something that's worth a little bit more than that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
I think, for means that some of the young guys are going to get some starts. So my personal theory that I'm subscribing to, I've heard floated around online all day and radios and podcasts is, there was an offer to Klay that was roughly the same amount of money per year, maybe a little more from the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But I think that came with the caveat that he's coming from the bench. He's coming off the bench. He probably ain't going to close games, and they're going to go full bore with Pods as the starter. And I think he felt that, it was going to be hard for him to watch Steph start and him coming off the bench. And I think if the Warriors offered him the same amount of money and a guaranteed starter spot, possibly could have ended up a little bit different, but I think you kind of have to see what you have with these young guys.
Yep.
And you need to make decisions if these guys are going to be foundational pieces, and they need to find out what's going to happen with JK, because are you extending him or not? The clock is ticking on him.
That's a good point, man. I mean, like you and I all three of us have screamed to the heavens. Moody needs playtime. Moody's going to get playtime, and Kuminga too. Like Kuminga goes through stretches where he's in the doghouse, and for an example, maybe he turns into the Ayuk of the Warriors, where he was in the doghouse and now he's one of your pivotal guys. You can't live without him anymore. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's just move on now to Chris Paul was waived by the Warriors. He ends up signing with San Antonio Spurs for 1 year, $11 million.
That is an amazing pickup, by the way. I had mentioned that if Chris Paul, we'll go, if you go back a few episodes ago, I had mentioned that was probably one of the best places Chris Paul could end up, and I'm so happy for him to be there. It feels like he should have been with Pop a long time ago, personally, honestly. But
yeah, I mean, great. And I mean, he's taken basically a $20 million loss by not having that $30 million contract versus $11 million.
True,
but he gets to also get 1 more year of mentorship for Wemby, and then also is he a starter? He's a starter now.
Oh, he's starting.
I would think he's starting.
Yeah, he's starting.
I think he starts.
Okay.
I don't know who's their point guard.
I don't remember. I don't fucking know.
Remember we watched a lot of videos.
Yeah,
remember we watched a lot of videos and like Wemby wasn't getting the ball. I'm like, that guy is taller than everybody else in the league. Just throw it to the ceiling. He'll get it.
Oh, yeah. Chris Paul can do that. So when he's healthy. And
exactly.
he ended up playing 58 games for the Warriors, which is kind of where I thought he might end up being, somewhere around
that broken
there.
hand got him though.
Yeah. So, all right. And then the other thing the Warriors did was they got DeAnthony Melton for a $12.8 million for 1 year. Another guard.
Yeah, you got to use it somewhere, I guess.
Look, if Melton's healthy, I think he picks up the slack defensively that we lost with Klay from last year. Not going to say prime Klay. I'm just saying what we lost from Klay last year. So it's not a terrible gamble, and I think it's a good gamble. But again, it's Eric Pascal as your starting power forward type of deal situation. Don't expect much.